What's going on? Welcome to Vault-Tec Productions. I'm pretty excited to show this video today, so let's get right into it. So I got some specific named Fallout characters to show you today across most of the games. No Fallout 1 or Fallout 2, but I got some characters from Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and a couple from 4 as well. And there are some I'm going to make sure not to put in the thumbnail so that they can surprise you when we get to them. But also, I like to play a little game and see how many of the figures you can guess who they are correctly in the thumbnail. Because if you can guess who they are, means I did a good job in making that figure. So, without further ado, let's get into these two guys right here. So, I have showed these guys before, so it's going to be real quick. That's why they're just up here already. Guy on the right, Joshua Graham, specific named figure from Fallout New Vegas DLC, Honest Hearts. Only thing I really want to say about him is I used a Clone Wars face, which obviously are very, very different style than pretty much all other LEGO minifigures, and you can say that doesn't fit in, but for me, because his face is all wrapped up and his whole body's wrapped up, his eyes are really the main feature of his face, and using a Clone Wars head to just really highlight the eyes, I thought worked really good for him. And this guy, I've been calling him like the Courier lately, but really he's just some crazy Ranger-esque looking guy, but of course in all black. Colors aren't quite right, but still very cool figure that does look like a Ranger, even if the colors are wrong and some other things aren't quite as accurate. But let's get into some of these new figures. We're going to start with this guy right here. I did show him in one of my stop motions in my city video, and it's the Mysterious Stranger. So this figure is pretty simple. He uses one of the Weasley twins bodies from the Harry Potter CMF line. Basically it was just this dark tan like trench coat type design. It does have a hood on the back, which I'm not a fan of at all really, but the fact that the print continues and it's got these dual molded legs with the dark gray boots as well as just side printing as well. It's just a really good figure, and just really the best thing I had to resemble any sort of trench coat or anything like that. And I think it came out alright. He of course does have Indiana Jones face, and that is because I just wanted to use kind of a generic just like your classic good guy protagonist type face, seeing as we're not really supposed to know what he looks like. But yeah, pretty simple. And I wanted to show him first because he is technically like in all the games. But I suppose we should start with Fallout 3 characters. So I'm going to start with some of the easy ones first. For most of these figures, the main goal was they needed to be like a very iconic or rememberable character. And so I was mostly looking at like faction leaders and companions, who are obviously some of the most memorable. And this is one of what I would just call one of the easy figures. It's Sarah Lyons from Lion's Pride, Brotherhood of Steel from Fallout 3. Pretty much she's just like a blonde girl, so all I had to do was throw that on some of my T45 design. Very easy, but it works well. Like pretty much any like blonde ponytail piece and faces could have worked. So many different options for this one, but with the ones I have, I think it works pretty well. I think you can tell it's Sarah Lyons and stuff. As I said, one of the easier ones, but it still came out as a pretty recognizable figure. Alright, and moving on. Now this guy, pretty excited for. Alistair Tenpenny in the flesh with his sniper rifle, shooting some peasants off of his tower, no doubt. And another pretty simple figure. I'm not quite sure what the exact figure this torso was from, but it was definitely one of the CMFs. I think maybe like a circus lion tamer type guy or something like that. But it's a chest piece I actually always had. And I don't know how I never noticed it before, but I was just looking through my pieces to make this, make all these figures, and I was like, wow, red jacket, that's like all you need for Tenpenny. So pretty simple. He doesn't really have the greatest printing or anything, and his hairpiece is also not the most accurate thing in the world, but I would love to change that hairpiece out at some point. And maybe if we can get some better prints for like a red coat with like coattails and stuff as well, that'd be very nice. But pretty simple. He looks pretty accurate. I think the face is really the best thing about him. I really like this face and I use it a lot just because it's such like a grumpy face. Really great for those unpleasant characters. Alright, and continuing with some of the more simple ones. I'm sure tons of people made designs very similar to this, but it's the Mechanist. I'm not going to go over him too much. It's the Fallout 3 version of the Mechanist. He's just got that big bucket robot head from the CMFs. I remember whenever they first started the CMFs and I saw that first robot figure they did, I was like, as soon as I saw that helmet, to me it was always the Mechanist. And just glad I could finally actually put them together and say, yeah, it's the full Mechanist. It's not great. Definitely lacking in printing and details and stuff, but you know, he's just got his bulky robot stuff going on there. Alright, and moving on. This is another one of the easier ones. There are a few figures where all I really had to do was just put some head and hair on one of my already existing armor designs. And so here we have some combat armor, but the man wearing it is Harkness, the leader of the Rivet City Security, also known as A321, the original synth, though back in the day he was just called an android. I don't think his face is the best thing for it, but I definitely just wanted you know, some of those lines on the side to kind of show his facial structure and stuff. It works pretty well. I gave him a Chinese assault rifle, and he's just got that combat armor design I've been using for a while. So another pretty easy one. You know, might be one of the harder ones to tell since he's just kind of in generic combat armor, but I still think he came out alright. Now, another one of the quote-unquote easy ones, as far as like just putting stuff on heads and hair on armor. This is Star Paladin Cross from Fallout 3. She is actually a companion, and she's using my one special T-51. That was the old design with the special chest piece. And I did have to order this hair for her, because I did not have any in this color. And it is silver, so it is kind of funny that it matches her armor. Yeah, I think it comes out pretty well. Like, if you're familiar with her in the games, which I know not everybody uses her as a companion, but if you know what she looks like, this should be like pretty cut and clear. Oh yeah, it's Star Paladin Cross, with that super sledge and that recognizable haircut. But yeah, another one of the easy ones just because it's using my pre-existing armor designs. Moving on, this is going to be... Oh, actually that was all of the Fallout 3 figures. Let's go ahead and get into some New Vegas figures. And starting with Cass here. Sorry, I couldn't remember her name for a second. Cass. Not the best face print to use, just a very upset face print, but it is single-sided. And that's the main reason I use it, is because, like, this might literally be the only female face print I have that is single-sided, and obviously she needs to be wearing her hat. And lots of people have done more or less a design exactly like this for her. She's just got such a generic, simple outfit, and it really works well for LEGO. You might have seen pretty much this exact same figure before, but from someone else. But, yeah, it's just one I had all the parts to make, so I couldn't not make it. And so yeah, gave her just my hunting rifle, but really, you know, in this case, it's supposed to resemble a caravan shotgun or something. But moving on, we got another New Vegas figure. This one's going to be kind of a surprise out of left field, because he's not necessarily the most recognizable character, definitely not a companion, but I just happen to have a part that worked really well for him. It's Pacer, the first mate of the King's gang in Freeside, working directly under the man himself. Pacer is, you know, I would say he's pretty memorable if you played New Vegas. His name comes up a lot, and he's got slight involvements in a few different quests. But yeah, I just had the CMF Mime. Not sure what series that was from, but very old. Had that figure forever. Just happened to notice him in my minifigure collection when I was putting these guys together, and as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what I was using it for. The face, I think, is pretty good. Obviously, there's a face I have a lot of and use a lot, but Pacer, you know, he's kind of cheeky and shady, and this is just a face that captures that perfectly. His hair, he's pretty much got Superman hair. Definitely going to get replaced at some point. I don't have any pompadours or any of, I don't have just too much of LEGO's newer hairstyles in general, but I would very much love to replace that with something a little bit more Elvis-like. I'm fine with this for now because obviously Elvis had many different styles over his life, and you know, this it works for at least some point of Elvis' career. But for Pacer, it's not the best hairstyle. I'm gonna change it at some point. He's got the 10mm SMG. Of course, this is all supposed to resemble the Jailhouse Rock outfit. So yeah, I think Pacer came out pretty good. He's really recognizable thanks to that chest piece. But we're now moving on to Fallout 4 characters. And I only have 2 for you from Fallout 4, unfortunately. But they're both companions. And we'll start with Kate right here with her baseball bat. Now the face isn't great. I think it's a little too happy for her, but the main thing I wanted was to use a face with some freckles on it, as obviously that is somewhat of a feature of her. And the hair, also not great, but I think it's the best thing I had in my collection at the time for her hair. She's just kind of got, like, I don't know, her hair's not like styled too much, it's just kind of hanging there. And as far as the torso, is really the only corset piece I had, and it works well enough. I think the back looks pretty good, but it's just generally inaccurate from the front. And then she's just got some kind of like dirty tan jeans, which is pretty accurate. The colors aren't perfect and stuff, but yeah, it's Kate. I think it's recognizable enough, but I definitely also don't think it's good enough. It's just about as good as I could get with the pieces I had, but moving on. And this is one of the figures who's definitely not going to be in the thumbnail because I'm pretty excited about this guy. It's Hancock. Oh yes, Mayor Hancock in the ghouly flesh. And another, I should say, easy figure because this torso and body, torso and legs are both from the same figure. They're from the Zombie Pirate CMF figure. And I just happened to recently get one of those guys. And I swapped the peg leg out for a brown leg, which really makes his legs just look like, you know, his coat and stuff's all ripped up. And his face obviously isn't perfect, but I did want him to fit in with the rest of my ghoul figures. Hancock's skin is definitely not this like bright white and stuff. It's a lot darker of a color. But yeah, as soon as I saw these parts, I was like, I have to have him for Hancock. Came out pretty well. I just really like how the legs are with that dual molding and the peg leg swap. I didn't expect to ever really look this good and this proper. Like, it really does look like he just, you know, had his coat ripped on that one side and stuff, but yeah, he looks pretty good. And of course I gave him a sawed off because he has the double barrel in game. And yeah, that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. I wish I had more figures to show you guys today, but that will have to wait for another time. I will hopefully be doing a second one of this video at some point, and then we'll have even more specific named Fallout characters to go over. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.